Dr. Bill Lumsden, thank you very much for joining us in Australia. I'm Seamus from the Whisky Club. This is not the first time we've met.
Correct.
Do you want to tell our members a little about yourself, a little about what you do?
Well, first of all, thank you for the welcome, and it's great to be back in Australia again. Just good to be travelling. So I'm the Master Distiller for Glenmorangie and Ardbeg. I've been with the Glenmorangie company for, I think this is my 28th or 29th year. Started off as distillery manager at Glenmorangie, and I worked for the DCL, as I still call it, Diageo as it is now, for the first 10 years of my career.
Yeah.
So I left to go and join Glenmorangie because I felt I would have more opportunity to experiment and innovate, and that's exactly how it turned out. Plus, Glenmorangie was my first love in the world of malt whisky. It was the first single malt I ever tasted.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about the Amontillado cask that went into this?
There's a range of different styles of sherry you can get from Spain, starting off with the aperitif styles, the bone dry fino, the salty Amontillado. The UK for many, many years has been the biggest market for sherry consumption, and it's something that's gone slightly out of fashion, which I think is a great shame. The most popular style there is bottled as cream sherry.
Yeah.
And cream sherry is a blend of Oloroso, which is medium sweet in palate, and Pedro Jimenez PX, which is very sweet in style. But in the middle of it all is my favourite style, which is called Amontillado. And this is kind of medium in palate, and it has a lovely nutty character to it. I think it encapsulates a little bit of the best of all the other styles of sherry. But sherry casks, you have to be careful with them, that they can completely dominate the flavour profile of your whiskey if you're not careful. And I think with Amontillado we strike a nice balance.
We don't see a lot of Amontillado cask finishing. Is there any reason for that?
Yeah, it's a much less common style of sherry. Now, of course, if you go to a good wine merchant, you'll probably find some Amontillado, but the Oloroso and the PX are by far the most popular styles. And obviously that appealed to me as well, so it wasn't just for purely selfish reasons, because Amontillado is my favourite style, but I thought it's nice, it's quite niche, it's a little bit different.
Shall we have a taste of this whiskey?
Let's do it, because I was very particular with this, Seamus, because sherry cask whiskies are very popular, particularly in certain markets, but I always think if it's too heavily sherried, you lose that essence of the terroir. So I wanted some of the true character of Glenmorangie to shine through. So the Amontillado sherry cask finishing has added these nuances of flavour, these extra layers. But when we taste it, which we will do when I shut up and stop prattling on, you'll also get quite a lot of the essence of Glenmorangie itself.
Cheers.
Slange. So 46% alcohol by volume, so you're obviously getting a little bit of that pepperiness, that tingle in there, that vibrancy of the palate, but you'll get some of these like nice nutty and leathery notes, a little bit of dried fruit in there, a little bit of dates, something like that, but it's much more restrained than if you use Oloroso or PX. But then you get the nice creaminess of Glenmorangie, this vanilla and butter candy type thing.
If you could deliver it straight to the members right now, is there anything that you'd like to leave them with?
This is niche, this is limited, and I'm not certain when or if I'll use Amontillado casks again. So, grab yourself a bottle while you can and sit and savour and enjoy it.
Cheers.
Cheers.